When you hear the name Martin Scorsese, what comes to mind? For most of us, it's the gangster film. For basically half a century, his name has been the gold standard for it. But what if I told you his real genius isn't in building up that gangster myth, but in spending his entire career tearing it all down?
I mean, it all starts with a line like this, right? This quote from Goodfellas is so much more than just a classic movie line. It's the hook. It's the thing that pulls us into this world that we know deep down we should probably stay away from, but we just can't help ourselves. It's just too seductive.
And look, he's earned that reputation. The sharp suits, the wads of cash, the feeling that these guys are living on a whole other level, you know? They're above the law, they're above us. And Scorsese, well, he is the undisputed maestro of that world.
But that's really just the shiny surface. Today, we're going to peel back the layers because it seems like Scorsese has spent his whole career having a long conversation with himself. First, he perfected the myth, made it look amazing, and then, decades later, he came back to smash it to pieces just to show us the hollow, tragic reality underneath.
So, where do we even start with a deconstruction like that? Well, it all begins with a core idea. For Scorsese's characters, being a man isn't something you are, it's something you do. It's all just one big performance.
And there's actually a name for this idea: performative masculinity. It sounds academic, but it's pretty simple. It just means your identity isn't set in stone. It's built up from all the little things you do, the way you walk, talk, dress. If you repeat those actions enough, they start to look like the real you. But underneath it all, it's a show. And what's wild is that Scorsese was all over this idea way back in 1976. Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver is the perfect case study. He isn't just some lonely guy. He's trying to be a hero from an old movie. He's putting on this warped John Wayne cowboy act, but he's dropped right into the filth of 1970s New York City.
But here's the thing. His performance is a total failure. The other characters see right through him. When Sport the Pimp asks if he's a real cowboy, he's not impressed. He's mocking him. It just goes to show you that the seams on Travis's tough guy costume are visible to pretty much everyone, except for him.
Okay, so if Taxi Driver showed us a failed performance, Goodfellas is where Scorsese makes that performance a smashing success. This is where he makes the gangster myth feel so intoxicatingly real, and he does it by using the language of cinema itself.
He's got a couple of key cinematic tricks up his sleeve. And first up is one of the most famous shots in the history of film, the long take.
Oh, you know the one I'm talking about. The camera follows Henry and Karen right through the back door of the Copacabana Club. No waiting in line for them. They breeze through the kitchen, everyone's saying, "Hi, Henry," and then poof, a table magically appears for them right at the front. That smooth, unbroken camera movement, it doesn't just show you power, it makes you feel it. For those few minutes, you're right there with them. It's brilliant, it's thrilling, and it pulls you right in.
Now, his second big tool for building up this myth is the freeze frame.
Think about it. Every single time a new wise guy gets introduced, the action freezes, bam, and their name pops up on screen. It's such a simple little thing, but it completely elevates them. They're not just crooks anymore, they're legends. They're icons being entered into the gangster history books. It is pure myth-making.
All right, now let's fast forward almost 30 years. Scorsese comes back with The Irishman, and he picks up the exact same tools, but he flips them completely on their head. This time, he uses them to utterly dissolve the myth he created.
So remember that buzzing, energetic tracking shot through the Copacabana? Okay, now compare that to the opening of The Irishman. We get another long tracking shot, but this one is different. It's slow, it's creaky, it's almost hobbling its way through the sterile, quiet halls of a nursing home. All that energy is gone, and all that's left is decay and the grim reality of getting old.
And he does the same exact thing with the freeze frame. In The Irishman, a new mobster gets introduced. The movie freezes, just like before, but the text that pops up isn't some cool nickname. Nope, it's their obituary. It tells you exactly how they died, and usually it was brutal and not glamorous at all. The very same tool that he used to create legends is now being used to show you that, in the end, they just end up dead.
So, once you strip away all that style and all that glamour, what are you left with? Scorsese forces us to look right at the bitter truth at the heart of the gangster life. It's a world of incredible loneliness and bottomless regret.
And honestly, nothing shows this emptiness better than Frank Sheeran's daughter, Peggy. She barely says a word in the whole movie, but man, her silent, judging stare says everything. She saw the ugly truth behind the nice house and the money, and her silence, it's not the judgment of some outsider. It's the heartbreaking rejection from someone on the inside, from her own family.
Through Peggy, we really understand that all this violence isn't just business. There is a real, deep human cost. The gangster life, the one that's supposed to be for the family, is the very thing that destroys it. It doesn't lead to glory. It leads to being totally alone. And that brings us to the biggest difference between Scorsese's two great gangster stories. At the end of Goodfellas, Henry Hill confesses to save his own neck. His biggest regret? That he has to live the rest of his life like a schnook. But Frank Sheeran, he's not confessing to dodge the law. He's confessing to try and save his soul. He isn't sad about losing a lifestyle, he's confronting a life that feels completely empty.
And this all gets captured in one final, just devastating image. Frank asks for his bedroom door to be left a little bit ajar. Think about that. After a whole life of secrets and shutting people out, it's this quiet, mournful little gesture. It's a desperate hope for connection, for forgiveness, maybe just for anyone to walk back in.
So in the end, The Irishman is so much more than just a gangster flick. It's a final statement. You can almost see Frank Sheeran, the old gangster, looking back on his life, as a stand-in for Scorsese himself, the old-school filmmaker, looking back on his career. They're both insiders, reflecting on an era that's fading away.
So you go from the pure swagger of Goodfellas all the way to the haunting silence of The Irishman. Scorsese masterfully builds this incredible myth just so he can show us its hollow core of pain and regret. He pulls back the curtain and shows us there's nothing there. And that leaves us with one last big question. If he's proven the myth is so empty, why are we still so obsessed with it?